One of the things that I wrote as part of my vision for 2025, which I do, and after working through the Create Your Vision Challenge and the Thriving in Motherhood Planner every single year, was to raise the level of expectations in our home, or the standards that we had in our home for homeschooling with my kids, but also for just our basic housework and our routines. And I wanted to be able to do that with them. So today I'm going to share with you a major breakthrough that we've had in the last week with what it looks like to raise those standards and expectations, not just for myself, but also for our kids, and without all of the pain or meltdowns or fights that can come when you introduce these ideas.
Hi, I'm Jessica Jackson, and this is the new way to thrive in motherhood by leaning into who you are, what you love, your unique family situation, and personal mission to create a life that you actually want to live. I want to invite you to join me in saying no to the life of the exhausted supermom, burnout, victim thinking, being pulled in so many directions, suffering through survival mode, or being lost in motherhood, and say yes to building strong families and moving forward on our greatest goals in order to create a fulfilling life that we are excited to wake up to each day and become a soaring mother. This is the Thriving in Motherhood podcast.
I want to invite you to join the free How to Create a Smooth Running Home Without Hiring Babysitters or house cleaning help. And you can sign up below at the link in the description. My vision this year was to start raising the expectations in our home with our family. And this is one of those things where I believe so passionately in creating the vision for the year, because when I take time to reflect where we've been and celebrate that, and then moving forward into where I want to go and what's important to me, and I do this prayerfully, I do this with God, and we partner together in creating this vision. And I talk with my husband about it too. Sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on what's happening in our lives. But I make sure that I'm doing this with God, for me and my roles as a wife and as a mother and as a Jessica. Then I feel like some really beautiful things come out of it, because when I create this vision with my own thoughts and I take it to God, I partner with him and he helps me with it. And it takes time. The reason why I create it for the year is because it takes all year to make it happen. But the beautiful and amazing thing is I've been doing this exercise now for, 10 years. 10 years. And I have been able to make that vision a reality year after year after year. And it's because there's a level of action, right? Skills and things like that, which is all part of the Surviving to Thriving toolkit. I've included all of the, the skills that it takes, the systems that it takes, all those things in the toolkit. It's all built into the planner. But the Thriving Motherhood Planner that is going to be releasing. We got the 2026 one coming out. So many of you have emailed me saying, are you releasing the planner this year? Absolutely. Yes, that's how I live. I don't know what I would do without it. So yes, the 2026 planner is coming soon. So keep your eyes out for that. But the amazing thing is that when I do partner with him, then he also helps me make it a reality. So I'm going to give you just a look into how that happened today, or this last week, because this has been something I've been working on. Now, I have been doing this myself, pushing myself, but there were some missing pieces, right? Because when you're asking people to do more things, there is resistance. There is resistance. There's resistance when I'm asking myself to do something, right? Like, it's not just the kids, it's not just them. It's like a human tendency that I have to fight against myself as well. And so this was amazing. So in this season of postpartum, we watch a few more movies than we typically do. Normally we only watch movies on Friday night while I'm making a pizza, and we're just kind of enjoying movie night together. However, sometimes, not every night, but sometimes we watch movies other days of the week. Now, my kids have developed their own system for who gets to pick the movie, and they rotate through on Fridays. So if it's another day of the week, mom gets to pick. And I saw there's a new movie out called Raising the Bar, and it's a story about a high jumper in the it was right before a world war. So 1920s Olympics, perhaps. It's called the Raising the Bar, the Alma Richards story. And it's about this farm boy from Utah that would jump over fences as a kid, and he ended up getting kicked out of school in 8th grade, or he left school in 8th grade. But he was a big kid, and he tried kind of finding his own way, and decided after a year of kind of kicking around trying to become a rancher, being a ranch hand, hard work, that he wanted to go back to school. And so he went back. He chose a different school because he had conflict with the teacher at the other school he was going to. And in that school, they had a track program, and so he started doing track. He was recruited to do track there. And after helping that school do really well, the track coach the next year said, you need to go to a different school where they can actually train you, where you can get seen like you could do great things in track. And so he ended up switching schools and ended up getting recruited to a college team, actually, even though he was a high schooler, because he could jump so high. He was just the coach just happened to see him jump over something, and he was 1 inch lower than the school like all-time record for high jump. So he ended up going, that coach helped him try out for the Olympics, and he did get a spot in the Olympic team, and he ended up winning gold that year in the Olympics in, I want to say, Sweden. Could be totally wrong though. Remember, sleep deprived, details, right? So anyway, so my kids, like, this isn't like your typical inspirational track story where they're like training all the time and having track practices and working with a coach. Most what you see him doing is jumping fences. Well, my kids understand that concept. And so what do they do as soon as the movie ends? Well, they are outside jumping over things, bars, and our gardening supplies, right? Running and jumping, and or having each other hold a bar that they could jump over, or stacking things up to jump over. And they were having so much fun doing it, and wanted us to come out and see, hey, look, oh, it's higher now. Oh, it's higher now. Oh, it's higher now. And they would, knock it over, and they would try again, keep going higher, out, knock it over, try again. And when, so I'm thinking about this, they've been doing this for like a number of days now. And then this is where I was like, I felt like God just spoke to me one, I don't know, probably middle of the night while I was nursing a baby. And so this morning at breakfast, I introduced these questions to the kids, which is okay, how does it feel when you're about to jump over the bar, especially after you've raised it? And they were like, oh, nervous. We feel so nervous. Yeah, but it's also like, how else? Well, it's kind of exciting. Yeah. Okay. What about when you knock it over? It's like, well, we just try again. In fact, it's like, it feels really good when you've knocked it over and then you try again, and it's like a challenge, right? And it feels really successful. Like you feel, I'm like, well, how do you feel afterwards? Like, well, it feels so good afterwards. It feels like you've accomplished something hard. Feels good. Yeah, what do you want to do after you jump over that bar? Well, we want to raise it higher. Yeah, why? Well, it's a challenge, right? Like, it feels good. So then I introduced this idea. Okay, guys, what about when I ask you to do a little bit more in math? That's raising the bar. How do you feel when you have to do something new that you haven't done before? Oh, nervous? Yeah, but is it a bad thing to feel that way? Well, no, I guess not. It's a challenge. This is a challenge. This isn't supposed to be something miserable, right? Is it okay if you knock the bar down? Yeah, it is. Okay. So now we have this language that we're starting to use in our home and in our family. And so when I do have kids like, oh, this is so hard, whether it's math or whether it's loading the dishwasher when I'm asking them to do it by themselves, and before I used to help them. But they're old enough and they're capable now, right? Hey, this is just raising the bar. And it's not just, oh, this is just raising the bar, right? Like we raised the bar, and then problems arise. So I had a child that was, loading the dishwasher after dinner, and all the other kids got to go outside and play because their job was done earlier in the day. So then they're really sad because as soon as the dishwasher's loaded, everyone has to come in and go to bed, and they didn't get to play outside with everybody else. So now, not only did we raise the bar, but this is introducing a new skill set that's really important, which is, okay, yeah, that didn't work. I can see that didn't work. I can see you're really upset about that. What can we do differently tomorrow to make this better? And so for this child, I had her load all the dishes before dinner, so the kitchen sink was totally cleaned out, and then everyone else could just quickly load their dishes at night, or we could use paper products or whatever, but that way she could go be outside with everybody else after dinner, and the work was done. And honestly, it's great. In my mind, that's a great deal. We would all love to have it simpler after dinner, right? So it's this beautiful tangent of, we're going to raise the bar. This is kind of the attitude, the story we're using, this reminder of, hey, it's like high jumping, and that's fun, right? So we're going to connect it. And then we bring in all these problem solving skills. Now, if you're like, wait, problem solving skills, where did these come from? I have put all of this in the Surviving to Thriving toolkit to help you navigate these family relationships better. So if you're interested, you can check that out. But I hope that you can, whether you take this story and apply this idea of raising the bar with your kids, or you take a totally different metaphor that resonates with your family to help with this idea of raising expectations. Or maybe you're like, actually, my expectations for my kids are great. We're fine here. I hope that what you do is get really excited about creating your vision for this upcoming year with the release of the 2026 planner, the Create Your Vision Challenge that's part of that planner, and engage in that process and sometimes a wrestle in figuring out what your vision is for your family for the upcoming year, what God has in mind for you for the upcoming year, and then trust the process of day in and day out watching this vision unfold as you create a life that you are excited about, and you gain confidence as you lean into your uniqueness with God and just see what happens. So kind of a lot of stuff mashed into here all at once, but my encouragement for you today is those three things. Take which one fits for you and let me know in the comments below what your takeaway is from this episode, and I will talk to you next week.
Where you are planted, watch the blossoms grow.